a line from the song. Okay, you ready?
Already forgot it, but
I just planted the seed. Done it. We've done it. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Circle R Ranch here in sunny, beautiful Toledo, Ohio, where, unlike Detroit, it is not snowing this morning. We have with us today Jeff behind the microphone. Jeff usually does the intro, and I just walked all over it.
That's all right.
That's some bullshit, actually.
Yeah, it is. But,
It is, actually, yeah.
Used to it.
And then John's back there running sound. We have a full staff today. Unlike last week where we had Travis Trent Darby running camera and sound. Sitting next to me in the hot seat this Friday is Max Feinstein. Max, say something.
hi. It's nice to be here.
It's nice to have you here. Max, well, why don't we just jump right into it? You going to jump right into it? Why don't you tell the story of how we met from your perspective, and I'm going to see, this is a little game that we play here on the Circle R. You tell the story of how we met from your perspective, and I'm going to see how well it gels with my version, and the audience will be able to tell by my facial expressions whether or not I think you're lying.
I
Okay,
should
go.
probably close my eyes because I don't want to ruin this for me. So my first interactions with Reverend as a company came after I started touring in a funk band on the NASCAR circuits. I got a Reverend just unplayed off of Reverb, really liked it. And through a mutual friend, I got connected with Zach Ward. And through that, I, being young and keen on working with companies at the time, I reached out to a few, and Reverend was on the list. And I said, hey, do you guys do artist stuff? And they're like, sure. And I said, could I? And they said, sure. And it was really cool. And I met them, I guess, 2016 at NAMM. I went to my first NAMM, and it was just absolute toy store mayhem stuff. Like, you go there and you see all these cool new toys.
Nashville or Anaheim?
Anaheim.
Okay.
And eventually what ended up happening was I ended up designing my own equipment. I ended up designing a bracket and flange system that mounts onto pedal boards so you can put your mic stand right on it. So I kept finding reasons to come back to NAMM that weren't just sort of being an artist, and I'd keep coming back and saying hey and just really getting...
So let's unpack. So far this is all true. But there's a couple things that I want to unpack before we move on. Starting with funk band in the NASCAR circuit. What the hell are you talking about? I don't remember that. And that's interesting. That in itself is quite interesting. So what happens there?
Well, that was what happened at the time. I got recruited by a band called the Devil Nellies to play guitar.
Okay.
And ended up with a touring schedule. We were playing sort of outside of NASCAR venues, I guess right before the races or after the races at different times. And it would allow for us to be in different areas, book other gigs. So I ended up with a pretty decent tour schedule for a few,
Yeah.
and that allowed me to have something to show for myself as far as what I was doing.
And you are from Hoboken, Jersey City.
Yep, Jersey City, New Jersey.
And was this band something that was based in Jersey and then took on the road? That's really cool. Okay, so you grew up across the Hudson from the skyline.
Yeah.
Which is that's an exciting way to grow up. I think that's really cool.
I'm reminded of that a lot because I take it for granted. It's my backyard, but when I walk through Times Square, when I deal with people who are coming in, it really reminds me how big a shock New York can be for people.
Yeah, my daughter lives there, and I'm still no less amazed. She's been out there for a few years now, and every time I go to the city, I'm like, And then one of my projects, the Paul Floyd Show, did a gig at a German beer hall in Hoboken for Oktoberfest.
Oh God, the
probably back in maybe we're going back to 2009 or 10, 11. Anyway, awesome. It was amazing. It was really fun to walk out the door and see the city across the river. And that was the first time that I ever spent. I've been to this city off and on my whole life, but that was the first time that I ever been in Jersey proper, and it was a riot. It was a total blast.
Well, I mean, if you were in Hoboken, you were down the street from Maxwell's, which is sort of a namesake of mine because I grew up in the area. I grew up on 9th and Hudson down the street from the venue. And Maxwell's was a notorious venue for bands that were on the up, basically going through. Like Nirvana was playing there in the late 80s, the Chili Peppers in the early 80s. New Order, they brought New Order over before anybody really knew who New Order was in America. They hadn't put the two and two together on that yet. It was a very important venue. It was kind of like a CBGB's.
Yeah, cool, very cool. Okay, and then I'm still working on your story here. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the pedalboard accessory. So remind me again, what's it called?
It's called the Mod Stand.
The Mod Stand, right. And I can remember you renting small booths at the NAMM show to sell the mod. You used to be able to, and I don't know if you still can, but Summer NAMM in particular, you could get a 6-foot table along the outside wall for $500-600, and go, and if you had something that was small and clever that you could give a quick pitch on, you could. And I remember you doing that specifically, and I remember the first time I saw you there walking by me, holy shit, Max is here. That's cool. So this thing was designed for the pedal train.
It was designed to work with. When I did this, and I should say that this is a product that I make with Metal Dozer Machine Works. Jason Dozer out of Georgia is an incredible metal worker. He does a lot of custom mic stands, and we collaborated on this. It is a product out of his storefront, which is Metal Dozer Machine Works, so metaldozer.com.
That explains why I have a Metal Dozer t-shirt.
Yep, that explains it. And that was why I was there, was because between the two of us, he was otherwise spoken for, and I had the time, and I thought it was important to really make a showing of it because we had just rolled it out.
Okay.
And that was the first time I'd ever run a booth, and it was fascinating. What I did was I designed it to work. It had to work with the two most popular kinds of boards, which are, your railhammer style, or your railhammer pedal train, your rail style pedal boards.
Sure, with the
slatting.
With slatting. Yeah.
And then your channel style boards, I'll call them, which are like your Gators or your Temple Audio.
Sure.
The ones that have cable routing channels periodically through. And it needed to assemble without tools.
Okay.
So
I remember that.
For that to be proper for me, it had to work with the most popular brands.
So the idea behind this thing is that your mic stand mounts to your pedal board. And so instead of shuffling pedal boards around your mic stand when you set up and trying to do the toe dance with your mic stand has legs that hold it up, or if it's an older school one like the discs mic stands, which I still work with singers that prefer a straight disc mic stand over anything else. This will get all of that bass out of the way, and you can put it right on your pedal board.
Yep.
And how is it done? Is it something that you're still doing?
Yeah, it's doing all right. I'm actually really proud to say that our highest visible artist is John Petrucci of Dream Theater.
That's amazing.
It's been on his board since the beginning of the View of the Top of the World tour. Jason has been making mic stands for James Labrie for some time, and if you look at Dream Theater's live shows, you'll see Labrie is using a thematic mic stand for whatever the tour cycle is. I believe for that one he was using something that looked quite like a viewfinder. It may have been a functional viewfinder as well. Jason's just that good. But that was how we got our connection. We already had a connection to Dream Theater. And for anyone who doesn't know, John Petrucci is probably the only more involved artist in signature gear I can think of might be Steve Vai, who's just hands-on in things. He's got all of these pedals that he's fine-tuned himself. He's got no end of guitars and pickups he's designed. That something I made ended up on his board with that kind of...
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it was... it's a feather in the cap. That really is.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so now what are you up to? I mean, I already know the answer to this question, but I think it would be cool if you told everybody what you have done here with the tape o neg, which is hilarious. But
this is the tape o neg artisanal noise enhancer. It's a preamp pedal that I designed with Poison Noises. Jordan Withers of Poison Noises. He regularly collaborates with groups on ideas. And when I figured out that I had the opportunity to have a say-so in how a pedal was made, I had to jump at that. That was like a super high school dream. You know, you see all these fancy pedals in the magazines and you're like, man, I would love to have a signature pedal or something like that. And as I got older and that got more, like I got more experience, it became, I would really love to voice something because I have certain opinions that I'd love to see reflected in something. You know, we're all opinionated.
Guitar players.
Right? And so to get to voice my own gain stage was really, really cool. So what we've got here is we've got your volume and your gain, and then we've got an active 3-band EQ. So when you tilt that to the left, you're scooping frequencies, and tilt it to the right, you're boosting them. And then,
so at 12 o'clock, you're at 0 on the EQ.
Yep, 12 o'clock is unity.
Awesome.
And then in the middle here, we've got a rotary pot that goes between different clipping configurations. All the way to the right, there's nothing in the circuit. And as you graduate it further left, you increase the compression and a little bit of saturation, sort of throttle the headroom a bit, and you end up with something that can really, I kind of call it a more box right now because it gives you more of what you've already got.
Sure.
You know, and you can really voice it in a very, very, very detailed way with this EQ section.
And so I noticed that the clipping knob has got like four settings, if you will, right?
Yes.
Is that okay? All right. Well, and you are a longtime Airsonic player, and we have the new Airsonic in the Periwinkle Burst, which has been insanely popular for us on any guitar that we put it on. And why don't these are Railhammer Nuevo 90s in the bridge and neck on that? Let's hear your pedal.
All right.
Let's see what you got.
So everybody was hearing that when I was jamming at the beginning. The pedal was on. This is the amp on its own. Pedal on. It's probably a bit more saturated than I'd like it. Let me voice it real quick.
So are you a volume control on the guitar guy?
Not so much.
Okay.
I like to have a bunch of different gain stages that I control volume with. I like to give myself a little too much volume and back off sometimes. That's fun.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, that's kind of where I like it more. That like upper note articulation is really important to me, those sympathetic strings. So to have that level of clarity throughout is super important, and that's something that, I mean, the Airsonic's really good at that. It just seems like it's always been a very articulate guitar. I've tried different combinations of pickups in it for funsies, and it's always maintained that sort of articulation throughout.
Now you see, I'm the opposite. I play so many wrong notes that I like for things to be very, very saturated so that you can't hear the wrong notes that I'm playing at the top end of the chords. Am I right, Jeff? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I love my saturation. A lot of times for me, I just bend things until I like them.
Yeah. No, yeah, totally. For sure.
And for saturation, this is a little more game. And you can almost still hear the clean tone coming through. I think the Nuevo 90 neck pickup is like my favorite pickup ever.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we are. Well, yeah. So we're doing a lot of Railhammer stuff here today too. I have the new Crosscut in Midnight Black, and I am of course a sucker for the Midnight Black guitars. I think black guitars are awesome. I have a tendency to wear a lot of black in my daily life for some reason, basically because it matches my soul. No, that's not true. Actually, it is. And I don't know how to match colors to one another in my personal attire. So if I just wear black clothes all the time and play black guitars, I don't have to worry about clashing with anything.
See, I matched to the guitar today.
Yeah, you did. You got that Richie Blackmore looking top right here in Sylvania, Ohio yesterday at Hip to the Groove.
Yep.
Our friend Lori, if Lori's tuning in today, if you told her that you were going to be here.
Yep.
Hi, Lori. How are you? I hope you're doing well, and I haven't been in there in a minute, but we'll all be there. We're doing a festival in Sylvania here in a few weeks. Right there, they're going to close off the streets. We're going to make some noise out in front of the store. That'll be a good time. The Crosscut has Railhammer clean cut pickups in the bridge and neck with a string through big old metal plate traditional style bridge thing here, so that you can get that brightness out of the bridge pickup, but noiseless, unlike traditional single coils. So there is, you can hear that. I'm just plugged straight into the amp, and the EQ on the amp, everything is straight up and down. So it's not really colored by anything. This is what this amp sounds like, or this guitar sounds like through a good amplifier. It's a Car Rambler. And it would be a little bit warmer than your regular sort of T-style guitar. In the middle, that is just...
That middle position is important.
But the middle is where it's at, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
And then if you want to roll out that bass contour, you can get more of a, I'll say it, you can get more of a Fender style sound, because you're emphasizing more of the top end of the frequencies. And that's more of a traditional middle position sound on a 3 pickup bolt-on neck style guitar, right? That's why the bass contour is so usable. The Crosscut basically killed the trick shot, before everybody asks. During the pandemic, of course, we could not keep up with production with the orders that we were getting, and the Crosscut was out selling the trick shot, 3-to-1 or more, 4-to-1, and so the trick shot just sort of went by the wayside. And the trick shot is basically this guitar, but with traditional Tele style pickups in it. Nailers, Alnico vintage pickups. This is a great sounding guitar. I I've got some plans cooking in the back of my head to bring that guitar back before anybody asks. But for now, we are rocking the Crosscut. And I tell you what, man, if you're looking for a guitar that does what the Trick Shot did, this guitar does that with the bass contour off, and then you have the bass to roll in. And to me, this makes this a much more versatile instrument. So there, I did my due diligence, and I talked about this beautiful Crosscut. You were one of the very first people to get an artist deal on an Air Sonic. I think you saw it when we announced it, and you were like, yeah, I got to have one of those. So what is it that drew you to that guitar? And then you still play that guitar a little bit.
Zach Ward is what drew me to that guitar. I had actually gone to NAMM with the intention of getting, this would have been the last year that you guys did the old school Gil Paris HSH configuration with the offset body.
Yeah.
And that was on my mind to talk to you guys about at NAMM. And before I could get a word out on it, Zach's like, Max, come here. You got to see this one. This was made for you, man. This was made for you. And I played it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm into it. I'm into this. Let's get one. Can I buy that one? Oh no, I think Bernie Williams just bought that one or whatever.
Yeah, Bernie Williams. We're just name dropping up here, man. And not only do we just name drop Gil Paris, but then we name drop Bernie Williams too.
Exactly. And
these are just our contemporaries. They're our friends.
And eventually, when I was able to get one, what I got was this. This is my personal Air Sonic from 2018.
Yeah, it is.
It is well loved and has become, at least within my music scene, something I'm very associated with. It's kind of become an extension of how I play in a lot of ways.
Okay.
Because of the way I get feedback out of it, it really does generate feedback differently than a regular solid body guitar does.
Yeah, absolutely. It does. And the concept, of course, was to mimic semi-hollow sounds with the solid body guitar, which that guitar does. But that guitar has its own voice. It does.
I kind of feel like if I'm going to reference outschooled brands, it's kind of like if you took like a Jazzmaster and a 335 and smashed them together.
Absolutely, yeah.
And like a Barbie doll and a Ken doll, and you'd end up with this, basically.
That's the second time he has brought up the Ken doll this morning. And I'm starting to get, well, I would say I was starting to get triggered. But the bottom line is, Max, I'm Knuff. And so it doesn't bother me a bit.
You are Knuff.
I'm Knuff.
And this thing is just, I've taken this.
Sorry. What happened there? Jeff is so not amused by it. Jeff, I have never seen you this not amused before.
I've heard it.
Man.
You have a hoodie.
What's that?
You have a hoodie.
He has a hoodie that says that.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a Knuff hoodie. Yeah. Oh, that's true. I do. Yeah.
I got it, Ken. Your name's Ken.
Yeah. I know.
And what about Knuff's enough?
Yeah, Knuff.
Here we go. No, I'm with you on the. Matter of fact, they should have me in that band. I have met the Knuff brothers. They're Chicago boys, and Zach and was it Ed? Who's the E in Enough's Enough? That was some early '90s shit. That was Enough's Enough was one of those bands that Nirvana knocked off the radio. But they're really, really nice people, man, and they definitely paid their dues around the Midwest, and I always think it's hilarious when that band gets brought up in any topic. They're like, yeah, enough's enough. Hell yeah.
I had no idea about that before I made the pun. I did not realize that was that was like the secret word or something.
Well, you're the first person that's combined the Knuff with Znuff, and I'm pretty.
Here's one I've been working on.
I think now I'm working on another tribute band in my brain.
So here's a tribute band I've been trying to think of.
Okay.
What's that Genesis out? Abacab?
Yeah.
But with two B's, so it's ABBA songs in the style of Genesis.
You broke me.
Somebody out there, get on this.
Yeah, Three Sides Live is like one of my favorite records, by the way. And I ask anybody that's ever gone on a road trip with me, anytime I'm going to be in the car for more than 4 hours, I listen to Three Sides Live. And I just love, and that live version of, it's one of the few things where even though you've heard the studio version a million times on the radio, the live version just absolutely destroys it. Like Rutherford's guitar solo work and the interplay between him and, what's the keyboard player's name?
I have no idea.
Right, nobody knows. Okay. Sorry. That was so rude. The dude is so famous.
I feel like the reference may have implied that I know more about Genesis than I do.
Yeah, no, good shit. Good shit. I like that stuff a lot. But anyways, but I hope Zelensky heard that up front. Chris, we have a new project. Chris?
Tony Banks, he says. Chris.
Yeah,
Tony Banks, thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Chris, are we going to do this band or what?
Please do this band.
In.
Please bring my terrible idea to life.
I don't know who the female singers are, but Bella could certainly do one. Yeah, this is happening. Can we at least do the song Abacab in the style of ABBA with Bella singing? I think we need to make this happen. Wow, we got completely sidetracked there. So, Air Sonic. Yeah, there you have it. I'm not even sure where to go from here. Are there any? Well, one more quick thing, and then we'll take some questions, and then we'll get out of here. You are a hemophiliac.
Yes, I am.
And you do some really interesting stuff. You are involved in an organization that actually lobbies in D.C. for awareness, and just talk a little bit about it because you use your music to sort of raise awareness to this disease that you have, and I think that is one of those really cool put your money where your mouth is kind of things. Go.
I really have my friend Sam Benvasuto to thank for that. She is a person with lupus who has been incredibly candid about her experiences with that and has combined her art and her condition, and that was a very inspiring thing. But yes, I'm part of a group of nonprofits that range through states and territories and help manage patients with hemophilia across the country. And in March, which is Bleeding Disorders Awareness Month in America, we converge on Capitol Hill for something called Washington Days, where contingents of patients and the executive directors of the nonprofits go and speak to their respective representatives for their states, and we tackle very specific healthcare issues each year. And this year, one of them was accumulator adjuster stuff. And it's not just stuff for hemophiliacs, it's stuff that can affect anybody who has any sort of pharmaceutical needs. So stuff, let's say you need generics, or you can't use generics because you have an allergy to something in the generic. An accumulator adjuster would really not honor any name brand stuff. It's trying to push you towards the other stuff. And if you don't have a generic, you're kind of screwed.
Okay.
So that's one of the things, and that's sort of my elevator pitch as to what we just did.
Awesome. Well, I mean, like I said, it's always cool when you see somebody out there who believes in something and goes and takes the steps to try to raise awareness and do things. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you here today.
And I appreciate that.
Does that explain the blood red beret?
Yeah, the red and black has sort of become a bit of a staple of mine ever since I figured out how to dress, apparently, which has been in the last year or so. And it sort of clicks.
Max also made my favorite T-shirt, which if you know me, you've seen me in. It's the My Other Guitar Is Your Mom T-shirt. And is that still available, Max? I could use a refresh.
I've been meaning to do another rollout. I think that's just enough of an occasion.
Could I? Maybe I could license that from you or something. I like that one.
Let's talk. Let's talk off camera.
And where can somebody find the mod stand or the typo?
The Tapo Neg.
Yeah, where can anybody find these things?
So a couple of them are listed on Reverb, the Tapo Negs, but if you want a better deal on that, you can reach me directly at Blood and Sound on Instagram.
Don't cut yourself short, man. Don't go giving discounts right out of the gate.
Oh, no, okay, fine.
Oh, you're looking for Instagram followers, that I understand.
No, I'm also looking to take the middleman out so that I don't have to give a percentage to Reverb. Okay. But I know some people like the push button, so I have it up there. And you can get the mod stand at metaldozer.com.
Wicked awesome. Jeff?
Ken?
Anybody have any questions about anything?
Really have any questions rolling in.
No questions rolling in?
Comments about the guitars. People like them.
Good.
Nice.
I'm glad.
They better like them.
Yeah, they better like them. That's right. That's right. I'm gonna clear out this cache here. You ready?
Yep.
It would be nice if there was like a two-click option on this pedal that made that stuff go away, but it doesn't. Well, we are going to play you out. I had a great time having Max here. What'd you think of Toledo, bud?
I liked it. I've liked it a lot. It's been
Yeah?
super cool.
When I picked you up the other day, we drove right into the Toledo sunset. You saw sort of a variation of this. Right.
I thought this was a projection every time I saw it on the live stream.
That's hilarious. No, that is the real thing.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
This is for you, and this is just a nice E minor pentatonic. Wail away, son.